all the comedians that we watch and that we've watched some of their clips from many years ago and now, he's the one that changed the most. And you can see it, like that he's been through a lot.
Hello guys,
Hi everyone.
I am Waldemar
And I'm Weronika.
and today we are watching Dave Chapelle. But it's not one of his specials, it's a clip from Saturday Night Live. It's his monologue, a pretty long one, 60 minutes.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure if I have seen this one. I think I've seen something of his on Saturday Night Live, but I really don't know if this is this one or the other one.
I've
Because
not
I,
seen this.
I think he was there more than once.
I've not seen this. We've seen the 2 newest specials of his on Netflix, I think, in the entirety, and then some clips as well. Some of them that you can see already on our channel, but this I haven't seen.
Yeah, I have a mess when it comes to your knowledge about Dave Chapelle, because we've seen some specials of his on Netflix, but I don't know if all of them.
I don't think all of them, no.
Because he did like 4 or 5.
No, I'm saying I think the 2, and I think the 2 newest ones. For sure, the newest one, when it came out, we watched it together.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah. Okay, but this one we haven't seen. So everything we've seen so far from Saturday Night Live, I don't know if that's too much of a generalization, but everything was really high quality. So like the one that we saw from Louis C.K., for example, and some other things as well that I cannot recall right now.
I think they have their best material, you know, on SNL, because it's such a big medium.
Yeah, they can really expand
such a platform.
their audience. So.
Yeah. And yeah, so like I said, I don't know if I have seen this. Weronika hasn't. But we've seen some Dave Chapelle. You can check it out on our channel. Yeah.
Let's
Ready?
go. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chapelle.
I'm not like a fashion icon, but I don't like those shoes with the suit.
I was just thinking about it. I thought I'm gonna say it out loud. So thank you. Yeah.
You look
I'm
like a
not sure about
footballer.
it. Like white shoes, but elegant shoes. That would be better for me. Oh, first.
Thank you all for being here. Pretty incredible day.
What was it?
You know what I was thinking about all day
An
today?
incredible
This
day.
is really weird. First of all, I'm nervous. I should tell you that. You can't tell, but all inside. I was thinking about a person I never actually met, but I heard about all my life. I was thinking about my great-grandfather, who apparently, by all accounts, was a very great man. He was born a slave in South Carolina, was a slave for 10 years of his life. And when the Northerners came down, they started educating some of the newly freed black children, and he learned how to read. Got enamored with education and dedicated his life to 3 things: education, freedom of black people, Jesus Christ. Became a juggernaut in the AME church. It's a pretty amazing story my great-grandfather had. And I thought about him all day today because I wish I could see him now, and I wish he could see me, because I wonder what he would say. This week I flew to New York on a private jet to host Saturday Night Live. Netflix started streaming a show that bears his name, Chappelle Show. And HBO Max is streaming it. And I didn't get paid for any of it. Yeah, if he could see me now, he'd probably be like, this nigga got bought and sold more than I have.
Wait, how come he didn't get paid?
Oh, there's this big story about this. Like he signed this deal about the Dave Chapelle show many years ago. I don't know who aired this originally. I think Comedy Central.
Oh, he sold all the rights.
Yeah, he thought he made a deal. He thought he made a good deal then. But as he's often saying this now, it was the worst deal of his life.
Because he just got like a lump sum and then sold.
I think
all of it.
I'm not sure, and I don't think he ever like explained this with numbers. But he often is talking about this, and he even encouraged his fans to not watch the Chappelle show on those platforms because he doesn't have any money from that. But I think recently he said something about Netflix, that it's okay for Netflix because Netflix paid him even though they didn't have to. And he said that he appreciates it, and then he told people that if you want to watch it, watch it on Netflix.
Okay.
This morning after the results came in, got a text from a friend of mine in London. And she said, the world feels like a safer place now that America has a new president. And I said, well, that's great, but America doesn't. Do you guys remember what life was like before COVID? I do. It's a mass shooting every week. Anyone remember that? Thank God for COVID. Something had to lock these murderous whites up, keep them in the house.
It's COVID. They're wearing masks.
All summer long, you know what I've been doing? I've been doing shows in Ohio. I live in a small town in Ohio. And a lot of these small towns in America was dying. My town was dying. So what I did is I did shows in my neighbor's cornfield. And these shows were very successful and may have even helped save the town. Isn't that something? And the local farmers, my neighbors, started to complain that my shows were too noisy. In a cornfield. Too noisy in a cornfield. I had to have a whole town meeting about how noisy I was being in a cornfield. It was so embarrassing. And I resented it. I resented that these country farmers could decide a guy like me's fate. People don't deserve to do that. They haven't seen enough. They don't know anything. They probably watch me right now. They're probably like, at home like, honey, come quick, come quick. The guy from the grocery store is on television. No, you big dummy. The guy from television is at the grocery store. Kind of guy that probably has an account on farmersonly.com. You ever heard of that website, farmersonly.com? Website that begs the question, what kind of bitch only smashes with farmers? It's gross. They had a whole Zoom meeting about me. I didn't talk on a meeting, I was just listening. Man, you should have heard them talking about me. They were saying, man, I'm trying to put my children to bed. And I keep hearing this guy screaming all night. My kids are trying to sleep, and all they hear is the N-word. I said, was I saying it, or were you? He had that twang in his voice. You know that twang where you hear that accent like, oh, I know he doesn't wear his mask. I don't know why poor white people don't like wearing masks. What is the problem? You wear a mask at the Klan rally, wear it to Walmart too.
That's so true.
Wear your Klan hood at Walmart so we can all feel safe. In a state like Ohio, for instance, right? People make more money from their stimulus checks than they do if they work. So a lot of people don't want to work. You know what it reminded me of? Ronald Reagan. Well, you're a black fella. You're a young fella, though. You don't know about Ronald Reagan. Remember what Ronald Reagan used to say about black people? How we were welfare people, drug addicts? Who does that sound like now? Stimulus checks, the heroin. And the rest of the country is trying to move forward, and these white niggas keep holding us back. Don't even want to wear your mask because it's oppressive. Try wearing the mask I've been wearing all these years. I can't even tell something true unless it has a punchline behind it. You guys aren't ready. You're not ready for this. You don't know how to survive yourselves. Black people, we're the only ones that know how to survive this. Whites, come, hurry quick. Come get your nigga lessons. You need us. You need our eyes to save you from yourselves. Remember when white people and black people couldn't be together? It was just white people alone in the club dancing. You ever see that old footage? How'd they look? This is what they was doing with the body. You need some black eyes to look at you like, stop doing that. Now Trump is gone. You know, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I thought the guy was at least an optimist. I am not as optimistic as he was. I look at it like, well, there's bad people on both sides. All right, just trying him out. Called the coronavirus the Kung Flu. I said, you racist, hilarious son of a bitch. I'm supposed to say that, not you. It's wrong when you say it. So I'm on a press conference one time. Donald Trump's a wild guy. You ever see this? He was on a press conference, tried to guess the cure of the coronavirus in front of the whole world. It's a wild thing to do. What about very powerful light directly in the body? I said, what? Did this man just suggest that I put sunshine directly in my body? Well, that's insane. He went further. What about some bleach? Some bleach directly in your body. I said, oh boy. Secret Service is gonna have to childproof the White House now. He's trying to drink the bleach. Mr. President, don't touch that stove, it's hot. Turn those scissors around if you're gonna run around the house like this, Mr. President. Scariest part about that, one of the leading virologists in the world was sitting as close as you are to me, and she just watched him say it. It's crazy. Her face was looking like he might be right. She was
We may try injecting a sanitizer.
I saw that. I said, ooh, that's why. That's why. That's why women make half. Did I trigger you? I don't know what it is. Half, maybe 70%, whatever it is, it's too much. I'm sorry, Lauren. I thought we were having a comedy show. It's like a woke meeting in here. And after all that, you know what he did? You know what Trump did after all that stuff? Went out and got the coronavirus. Wasn't that something? You know, when he got coronavirus, they said everything about it on the news. But you know what they didn't say? That it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Trump getting coronavirus was like when Freddie Mercury got AIDS. Nobody was like, well, how did he get it? This guy was running around like the outbreak monkey. He looked like a 1970s penis, just raw dog and earth. Day after he made fun of Joe Biden's mask, this guy wears the biggest mask I've ever seen, which is a ridiculous thing. Joe Biden's mask wasn't bigger than anybody else's mask, Mr. President. Lucky for the rest of the country, though, he had a good health care plan, didn't he? Some good coverage. Helicopter picked him up. Right in his front yard, helicopter came. Remember that video where he's walking to the helicopter all by himself? No one to be around. Usually he's walking to the helicopter with a bunch of people. No one's around him this time because, you know, he had the Rona. Had his mask on then, didn't he? He was walking over. Helicopter took him to Walter Reed Hospital. I'm from D.C., and I got to tell you, Walter Reed is not close to the White House, but you can walk. Team of doctors was waiting for him. All the doctors came around and gave him experimental medicine and stuff and flew him back home in a helicopter. And then he walked right up the steps. You ever see this video? He took his mask off and saluted the helicopter and then walked right in the house, killed 4 more people. I said $700.50 in taxes goes a long way, doesn't it, sir? Some cold stuff, man. Some cold stuff. That would be like me going to a homeless shelter with a bag full of hamburgers and saying, these is mines. And then just start eating in front of all the homeless. Don't let hunger dictate your life. I was cold, man. Meanwhile, Chris Christie's fat ass was in the ICU fighting for his life.
I didn't have
Chris
that.
Christie got all the fixings. Everything coronavirus likes to eat, that's what's in Chris Christie's body. Fat, check. Asthma, check. Diabetes, check. Coronavirus is like, Herman Cain's black ass had been dead for 2 weeks. Where was his secret serum? That's your leader. Think about that. For 4 years, that's your leader. What kind of man does that? What kind of man makes sure he's okay while his friends fight for their lives and die? A white man. And I don't mean to put this on the whites, but I've been black a long time. I've noticed a pattern. But if you're a good white, you actually want to help, and join me. I'm not even joking. It's my plan. It's called the Kindness Conspiracy. It's random acts of kindness for black people. Do something nice for a black person just because they're black. And you gotta make sure they don't deserve it. That's a very important part of it. They can't deserve it. The same way all them years they did terrible things to black people just because they're black and they didn't deserve it. If you're driving through the hood one day and you see a black dude standing on a corner selling crack, destroying his community, buy him an ice cream. Just buy him some ice cream. He'll be suspicious, but he'll take it. I would implore everybody who's celebrating the day to remember, it's good to be a humble winner. Remember when I was here 4 years ago? Remember how bad that felt? Remember that half the country right now still feels that way. Please remember that. Remember that for the first time in the history of America, the life expectancy of white people is dropping because of heroin, because of suicide. All these white people out there that feel that anguish, that pain, that mad because they think nobody cares. And maybe they don't. Let me tell you something. I know how that feels. I promise you, I know how that feels. If you're a police officer, and every time you put your uniform on, you feel like you got a target on your back. You're appalled by the ingratitude that people have when you would risk your life to save them. Oh, man, believe me. Believe me. I know how that feels. Everyone knows how that feels. But here's the difference between me and you. You guys hate each other for that. And I don't hate anybody. I just hate that feeling. That's what I fight through. That's what I suggest you fight through. You gotta find a way to live your life. You gotta find a way to forgive each other. You gotta find a way to find joy in your existence in spite of that feeling. And if you can't do that, come get these nigga lessons. Thank you very much, and good night.
So, what do you think?
Of all the comedians that we watch and that we've watched some of their clips from many years ago and now, he's the one that changed the most. And you can see it, like that he's been through a lot and that his outlook has changed a little bit as well. He's very serious even when he's making jokes.
Yeah, sometimes for my taste, he's a little bit too serious.
He's like even preaching too much sometimes, and he's very bitter, I think. And it shows that he, like, because he said, "Oh, I don't hate anybody. I just hate this feeling." I mean, I'm sure he has the right to feel bitter, but you can feel it, that he's very angry, and that's how it changed. Like, he matured for sure, but you can see it's not in a way that some men, as they get older, they like kind of calm down, they take a step back, they kind of get a cheerier disposition because of time passing, and they take a step back. I think he's more angry now than he was when he was younger.
Yeah, but you need to remember that the special that you were referring to, probably the one when he was wearing the blue shirt.
Yeah, no,
he was very, very young. He was like 19 or 20 when he taped this special.
Yeah, but some of the videos we watched later as well, I think a lot of that has changed since like the newest specials.
Yeah, but that's true. He is very bitter, and he is very racist. I don't know if I can say it, but he is very racist, and it's related to those things. I won't repeat them again, but I was talking about those differences between racism in Europe and racism in America. That it's difficult for us to grasp it because it's such a different experience to live there. And to have this experience, of slavery, of those divisions, of those segregations, and stuff like that. So it's difficult for me to have an opinion about that. But he really is living all this still. It's still vivid in his memory, and I don't. It's difficult for me to understand. Maybe not understand, but I wonder if he really is a person who suffered that much because of it, because he was a celebrity for most of his life.
I think he had like a hard childhood, right? I'm not so
What?
Hard childhood. I'm not so sure because
no,
he does
I don't
act.
think so.
I don't have no idea. Everything that I know, I inferred from how he's talking about it, and for sure I had the impression that he must have been through a lot. I don't know about, like you're saying, I don't know about being racist, but definitely he has very strong opinions. And I wouldn't say as far as I have a problem with him, because I have zero problems with jokes about women. And I don't mind his jokes. But I find it a little bit strange, because he said in the past as well, in the specials that we've said on multiple occasions, I know he's not misogynistic. I don't think anyone with decent intelligence is misogynistic nowadays. But, I know it's not comparable, but it's strange that he always makes these jokes about women very like offhandedly, I know what bothered me when he said like, "Oh, it's a woke environment." What's woke about women's rights? It's not a new thing. I mean, I don't think there's much woke about anything, but especially in this, it's not like it's a new issue. It was an issue that was actually occurring kind of at the same time that his things. So how is it woke? And I just wanted to say one thing when he says, I know it's not comparable again, of course, but he says like, do something, a random act of kindness because we always had people doing rude things to us for no reason. But yeah, women too. Every other minority, like not minority because women are not a minority, and of course not to this extent, but it's just strange.
But that's the thing that I said. It's different, Here in Europe, you could say that. But in the United States, really, the black people were the ones who suffered the most. And you can't compare women.
I'm not trying.
Problems
of course, a white woman would
black
be
people problems.
A white woman would be vastly more privileged at any time of history than a black man.
I'm not talking about white women. I'm talking about women as general. Like when you compare it to what women had to suffer in the United States, which of course was also a thing. But compared to black people,
of course, even if you think about just killings, I mean, obviously it's kind of one of the worst things you can do to a person, and it's not like women were mass murdered, but or like subject to violence. Of course not. But it's just I just found it strange because he seems like such an intelligent guy, and to say that it's a woke environment, so we can't joke about women. I mean. You know what I mean? This seems a bit backwards because that's not what's new now.
I thought he's gonna explain this joke more, like when he said that's why women earn half.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. It was weird.
It was a bit strange.
I thought he's gonna come somewhere with that, but when he just said that's why women earn less, and you're not laughing, because you are woke. Like a weird joke. And I really like Dave Chapelle, I really do.
Yeah, me too.
But what I have a problem with is this kind of cherry picking. He sometimes poses as as this big name in the celebrity world, in comedy world, and he is. But on the other hand, when it suits him, he is like everyday normal black guy. He suffers as the same as the other black people suffers. He went through the same thing as you are going through, and one time his opinions are like that, one time his opinions are like that. One time he's talking about equality and about how we should all get together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not we are, but you people in America, how you should get together, not judging by the race or anything. But on the other hand, when it suits him, he is like, white people are evil.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is
he
like...
He changes this narration so often, and it's for me, it's difficult to treat him seriously, because I really seen, I think, everything he... Not everything, but I've seen all his specials. I've seen many interviews with this guy, and it's kind of more difficult for me to treat him seriously, because he changes his narrative so much.
Actually, I don't think I've noticed that he like changes his narrative as well. It's like kind of he always tries to say the same thing. But I think the way I get his persona is that like I came from a very low place, which I don't know if it's true, maybe it is, and now I'm at this stage. Mm-hmm. So like that he's able to, like you said, cherry pick which part of his life he is now embodying and trying to relate to other people, which I think maybe he doesn't take into account that you can also forget some of these things, and also, you did get out of it. But yeah, I just I was thinking when you were saying maybe it's a good thing, that there is different people. Like you always say with Bill Burr, for example, that I don't really like how his mannerisms or things he talks about, but it's good that people talk about things in different ways, so then we can have a discussion. And I think now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think from what I noticed that nowadays, with black comedians, there's almost this pressure that you have to be super laid back about it, and like you have to joke about it to seem very likable, especially to white people, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. And it's good that he's not like that.
And it's good that he's not like that.
Definitely.
Because it was a horrible thing. So maybe it's needed that someone is so serious about it.
Yeah, but it's difficult for me to explain what I mean when I'm talking about this narrative. It's like he put himself on this pedestal that no one ever put him on. And now he went on this ambona, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you things about life. Like, but why exactly? Like you were a millionaire almost all your life, and it's good that you are black. I mean, it's good that you as a black person are raising black issues for your community. That's very good, but and that's something to praise. But this like maneuvering, that's what I meant about with the narrative. Like sometimes he poses as he is really one of those guys, and the other hand, he's talking about millionaire problems for like 20 minutes on his specials. Yeah, like he talks a lot about himself and how often he talks about those deals that he made and how people treat him on $1 million. It's like it's difficult for me to get it, and also when he is so openly racist towards white people nowadays. And it's also difficult for me because if you are speaking about, brotherhood and about forgiveness and about, leaving the past in the past and you're calling for people to change, and also you refuse to change all your life, and as racist as he was 20-something years ago, that's how racist he is now, and he simplifies problems. He's just saying like, white people that, and yeah, it's like I'm talking a lot about this, but it's not like it's my big issue with Dave Chapelle, because like Weronika said, it's good that he is that way, like it's good that he's not just like, oh, it's not problem, blah 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 blah, and like you as a black community, you need to have guys like him, to raise your voice in public. It's just something about him became so slimy, I would say.
Yeah, he's very preachy. And like, just to wrap it up, I don't think I mind what he says about white people. I think part of that is because I'm not American, and I don't feel personally like, I don't know, I don't have to think about my choices in how I treat people every day. I don't have to worry about coming across as racist too much. I'm like, okay, I'm not racist in any way more than, I don't know, maybe I have some, deeply rooted things. But I don't think so, because we are not brought up with all these prejudices. So we don't have to fight to not, to like get rid of them, because there's very often nothing to get rid of. So it's not an issue that touches me personally. But if he was representing me, I think I would feel a little bit like you're saying, a little bit offended, because you can't just, like, it's nice that he's speaking about these things, but you can't like walk up to a poor person, I don't know, give them $5 and pat them on the back and be like, oh yeah, but we are the same, right? Like, we're the same. So remember, we're the same when you go back to your project house, and I'll be flying my private jet. And I know he does stuff, charity and things, but it's just, and it's nice, but you can't say we're the same. It's as if, I don't know, as if when Obama was speaking, he was still trying to pretend. He never did that, trying to pretend that, oh yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. And
he had to fight through a lot. So I don't know about Dave Chapelle again. I just don't know his history. But it's, imagine like Barack Obama is speaking to, and he's like, yeah, and I'm the same as you, watching me on the TV, and you don't have enough money to live until the end of the month. That would be ridiculous. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for watching with us. If you liked, you can leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you like.
Yeah, and I encourage you to a discussion in the comment section.
Please.
We had those a lot lately.
Yep. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.